Picture this. You just got the keys to your absolute dream home here in Cobb County. You're super excited, you're moving the furniture in, and then, bam, you suddenly uncover a massive hidden financial lien attached to the property. Or maybe you find yourself in a sudden, really heated boundary dispute with your brand new neighbor over where your fence line actually ends. Well, these aren't just hypothetical nightmares, they actually happen. But knowing how to independently find and read property deeds, that solves this high-stakes mystery before it ever even begins. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to empower you to independently navigate the Cobb County real estate record system. So, who truly owns the land beneath your feet? That question is literally the heart of all real estate. Figuring out who truly holds ownership and what kind of legal baggage might be dragging along with it is just an absolutely crucial skill. Whether you're a homeowner, a potential buyer, or even just a local history buff, it protects your financial future, and honestly, it gives you some incredible insight into the literal foundation of your community. And that brings us to a really fundamental legal concept in real estate: constructive notice to the world. So what does this actually mean? Well, once a property document is officially recorded at the county level, it's legally assumed that everyone, everywhere, is aware of it. It's like a giant public bulletin board. You can't just claim you didn't know about a lien or an easement if it's sitting right there in the public record. And that makes these public records your ultimate investigative tool. To help you master this tool, here's our investigator's roadmap for today. First, understanding property deeds. Second, online research tools. Third, the step-by-step search process. Fourth, the in-person search guide. Fifth, troubleshooting common issues. And finally, number 6, real-world applications. All right, let's dive into Section 1, Understanding Property Deeds, the legal DNA of real estate. So a property deed is essentially the legal DNA of a piece of real estate. It's the official, recorded, public instrument that legally transfers ownership from one party to another. But, it does a whole lot more than just show who owns it. It details exactly what claims, rights, or restrictions are permanently attached to that specific parcel of land. Now, keep in mind, not all deeds are created equal. There's actually a really crucial difference between the two most common types you're going to see in Georgia. A warranty deed is what you definitely want when buying a house. It offers the absolute strongest protection, guaranteeing that the title is clear, good, and marketable. On the flip side, we have the quitclaim deed. This transfers ownership with absolutely zero guarantees. It basically just says, hey, whatever interest I might have in this property, I'm giving it to you. They're often used in divorces or between family members, but they offer no real protection if a title issue pops up later on. Moving right along to Section 2, Online Research Tools, Assembling Your Toolkit. Okay, so there are 3 main entities you're going to be interacting with here, and honestly, understanding who does what is half the battle. First up, the Cobb County Board of Tax Assessors. You go to them for valuation data, tracking the current owner for tax stuff, and most importantly, finding your parcel ID. Second is the GSCCA, which is the Georgia Superior Court Clerks Cooperative Authority. This is your statewide digital index for pulling high-resolution images of the actual deeds. And finally, the Cobb Clerk of Superior Court. They're the ultimate official keepers of the records. They hold the physical deeds, manage liens, and maintain the general execution docket. Let's jump to Section 3, the step-by-step search process, your digital field guide. Now that we've got our toolkit, here are the 3 specific steps to trace a chain of title like an absolute pro right from your computer. Step 1, always start at the tax assessor's website to find the property's unique parcel ID. Searching by parcel ID is incredibly accurate because it totally eliminates the confusion of people having common last names. Step 2, take that parcel ID or the owner's name and plug it into the GCCCA portal or the clerk's local landmark system to find the actual deed images. And Step 3, and please don't skip this one, always check the general execution docket. This is exactly where money judgments and liens are recorded. If you skip the docket, you might miss a massive financial judgment hiding right there on the property. Now, here's a fun fact about what makes a deed officially valid in Georgia. A valid Georgia deed legally requires 2 witnesses, and one of those witnesses has to be a notary public. Plus, if the property is being transferred for actual value, like a standard home sale, a PT 61 transfer tax form must be filed alongside it to publicly disclose the sale price. So, when you pull a deed yourself, looking for these specific elements tells you immediately if the transaction was handled correctly. Section 4, the in-person search guide, visiting the Marietta Courthouse. Doing this online is super convenient, for sure, but sometimes you just need to get your hands on the physical paperwork. If you head down to the Real Estate Division Record Room on East Park Square in Marietta, you're going to need to fill out an official copy request form to obtain tangible documents. You can actually just use their public access terminals right there to find the exact book and page number of the deed you need. Fill out this pretty simple form and hand it straight to the clerks. The staff there is incredibly helpful if you need guidance on how to use their systems. Though, quick heads up, they cannot legally perform the search for you or give you any kind of legal advice. And honestly, the best part, it is amazingly affordable to get these official records. A regular copy printed at the courthouse is literally just $1 per page. If you need a certified copy, the kind that comes with the clerk's official seal for court filings or refinancing, it's only $2.50 for the very first page, and then just $1 a page after that. All right, Section 5. Troubleshooting common issues, clearing the clouds. So what happens when things go a bit wrong? As you trace a chain of title backward in time, you might bump into what real estate professionals call clouds on title. These are those really frustrating issues that obscure clear ownership. We're talking about old, unreleased security deeds for mortgages that were paid off decades ago, or unresolved boundary disputes noted in old plats, or even unextinguished heirs' interests, where a past owner passed away and the property wasn't properly probated. It really just goes to prove that sometimes the only thing more complicated than real estate law is family drama. Now, if a record seems entirely missing, don't panic. The trick here is to always search both the grantor index, which is the seller, and the grantee index, the buyer. And seriously, always try varying name spellings. If someone's name is John Smith Doe, try searching without the hyphen, or just use the first few letters of the first name. This is a great way to bypass any typographical errors a clerk might have accidentally made 50 years ago. Section 6. Real-world applications, preserving Cobb County history. Let's zoom out for a second. Beyond just ensuring clear ownership or resolving disputes, these deed searches actually empower historical preservation in a huge way. By pulling these public records, local historians have meticulously tracked the lineage of local landmarks. For example, deeds helped trace the history of the 1845 William and Hannah Root House on Polk Street, which is one of the oldest frame houses in Marietta. Similarly, property records map out the footprint and history of the Earl Smith Strand Theater on the Marietta Square, detailing its 15-year run as a nonprofit arts institution. So you see, you aren't just looking at boring legal paper. You're literally looking at the story of Cobb County. However, as empowering as it is to do all this yourself, we really have to acknowledge the limits of DIY research. Remember that professional title abstractors are highly trained to spot those obscure clouds on title we talked about earlier. Their professional scrutiny is absolutely necessary to provide the required security for a lender to issue title insurance. So while DIY research is fantastic for your own due diligence and historical curiosity, it just can't replace the financial safety net that the actual experts provide. And that leads to a crucial takeaway before you start your own search, which is our disclaimer. This explainer is strictly for educational purposes. We've given you the tools to look, learn, and verify, but you absolutely should always consult a licensed real estate attorney or a professional title abstractor for complex title issues or if you need any official legal advice. Well, we've given you the investigator's roadmap for navigating Cobb County real estate records, from the digital portals of the GSCCA all the way to the physical record room in Marietta. Now, I want to leave you with one final question to really spark your curiosity. What fascinating local history or hidden stories will you uncover when you pull the chain of title for your very own property? Get out there and start exploring.